Hello and welcome back to the colony with Man of the Antz. We are back in the Outer Wilds. Sorry, it's been a while. Just Outer Wilds, no the Outer Wilds. So we had some exciting stuff last time. We left off the last video, which was a little while ago, which I do apologise for. Basically saying we had two things left to look at. One was the Ash Twin project, which we need to get to the centre of the Ash Twin? Ember Twin? It's the centre of one of the twins, whichever it is. So what I hypothesised last time is if we get to the twin towers that are on... bad phrasing. The dual towers that represent the Ember Twins, or the Ash Twins, that are on the Ash Twin at the moment. If we get over to those, stand by the one which looks like it goes to the Ash Twin project, and then basically just hang around and hope that it goes blue so we can go into it at some point. That's the plan. It seems like a bit of a silly plan, but it's the only plan we've really got. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to try that first of all. The other thing we need to do is to track down the vessel and the third life pod that launched out of Dark Bramble. Just going to try and get down nicely. Lovely, lovely. And then nice and gently, nice and gently. There we go. For which we need to go to Dark Bramble and use our, I can't see it because I'm sat down, use our music listening radar device type thing to try and pin down where the vessel and the third lifeboat are. I don't know if the vessel makes noise, but certainly the lifeboats do. So I suspect maybe we're just looking to... It's very nice to sat here, like, watching everything go around, actually. It's a really nice little spot. I love it. I love it. Yes. Don't know if the vessel makes a sound, but the lifeboats do, so that's what we're going to be focusing on trying to do shortly after this. A huge thank you to Scott, who put a couple of comments on the last video, one of which was mentioned, and I said in the last video that I'm having this message pop up when I start the game saying my save file's been corrupted, but everything still seems to be in place for the moment. We're right on the equator. Look at that. One of the things that Scott pointed out was that it doesn't actually matter too much if you lose your save file. In a way, because you can actually complete the game on your very first loop if you know what you're doing. So it wouldn't matter too much if we lost the save file. The very worst thing that would happen is that I might just need a little bit of help just filling in some of the blanks that the computer behind us would normally... Camera headlights off. There we go. That the computer behind us would normally do for us, but wouldn't be able to, obviously, if we started the game again. But so far, so good. There's been a few times I've started the game since I've had that message, and even though it keeps warning me that my save game is corrupted, everything seems fine. So, we are going to put a little cut in. We're going to wait till the dual towers appear that signify the twins and see if we can use the other tower to get to the Ember Twin project, or the Ash Twin project, whatever one it is. It's down there. It's down there. You don't just smash through the... No. Someone would have said... No, someone said I was on the right track, so I think we're fine. I think we're fine. Okay, go. Ooh, something happened. Ooh, something happened. Oh, I didn't really say anything beforehand, like I didn't have a good cutting, because I wasn't really expecting that to work. So, just to clarify, in case you didn't realise what happened there, so we stood in the second broken teleport chamber in the dual towers for the twins, the one with the broken ceiling. There's a little cubby hole where they've got some scroll holders, scroll shells. When the dust, the ash pillar, which is connecting the two twins together as one's being drained and one's being filled, as that came close, I hid in the little cubby hole, and then as soon as the ash passed, the ash plume passed, I ran out onto the teleporter and then got immediately teleported. So, yeah. It didn't seem to look any different, like I thought it might glow blue or something when it was pointing in the right place. It didn't seem to do that, but here we are, in the center of the Ember Twin, in the middle of the Twin project. Wow. Wow. So I thought that was actually like a space thing, but it's actually like it is rock on the inside, look. And I guess those blue lines are connected to the solar towers that are on the surface, and they're bringing down all the power. Although we know that it needs a little bit more power than that. So let's have a look around then. Let's have a look around. So I'm one revolution late, so I don't know how much time we're going to have. But yes, there was one revolution where I got it wrong, and I got sucked up into the dust tower. couldn't remember what the the translation thing was. Do we go top to bottom or bottom to top? I think top to bottom. 12 minutes 3 seconds ago received data from previous cycles. Masks receiving data from probe tracking module, Giant's Deep memory statue, Timber Hearth memory statue. So the Timber Hearth memory statue is us. So who's the Giant's Deep memory statue? 10 minutes until end of cycle. Does that... I want to see if that maybe that'll change as we go. So these are all of the masks. This is where we have stood in this spot many a time. So one of these is connected to Timber Hearth. One of them's fallen off. Yeah, so there are 3 that are lit up. Timber Hearth, Giant's Deep, and the probe module. Interesting. Now, wasn't there one Hearthian, one of our race, one of the astronauts, who was aware of the loop? I'm guessing it's the one on Giant's Deep, right? So that's got to be the Giant's Deep one. So I don't know who's connected to that. I don't know. I'm looking over here. Like, this one I've decided is the probe module. This one's Giant's Deep, and this one's mine. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know who the probe module belongs to. So I'm going to go very quickly check this again. Still says 10 minutes. Okay. Maybe time stands still in here. Who knows? Oh, lots of writing. Lots and lots of writing, actually. And also a statue. I thought it was facing a different way then, but it's just, I don't know. Just looked a bit weird as I came out to it. There's my ship. Just floating aimlessly around as it was picked up by the dust plume. Yarrow. Today we finished the excavation of Ash Twin. Here in this space we carved, we will craft our most ambitious project yet. The Ash Twin... Oh, sorry, it's in the Ash Twin. The Ash Twin project. Powerful enough to send information back in time. How far we've come since our experiments at the High Energy Lab. I still can hardly believe Raimi's hypothesis was true. We've also finished relocating all subterranean plants we met while digging. We'll need to keep our eyes on how significantly we've altered the environment here. How many subterranean plants existed at the center of this planet? It's given me... It is I've got quite good VR legs. I don't know if it's a VR thing, but having this spin past me at such a high velocity is... mildly unpleasant. Mildly unpleasant. We'll just ignore it. We'll just ignore it. Make sure I'm recording, actually. Yeah, we're good. Poke just sent... Who's this? Yarrow. Poke just sent the warp core for the final tower to us from the Black Hole Forge. Now Ash Twin can be connected with Giant's Deep, where Cassava is working with Avens to craft the orbital probe cannon, and where Phlox is sculpting the memory statues. There's a lot going on. Hypothesis. This is from Cassava. It was not by accident the core of our warp tower was the last to be forged. Poke. Hypothesis. The cores could have been forged faster if Cassava had interrupted my work less frequently to ask for updates. Yarrow. The important point is we are all connected through Ash Twin now, and also that I'm no longer needed for mediating your disagreements. Love it. Ooh, what do we have over here? Well, that's, Break Apart McGee. And that's Timber Hearth. Have we had a Timber Hearth one before? That's Giant's Deep. Well, that's interesting. We've got lots more to read yet. Yarrow, our friend on Giant's Deep tested the orbital probe cannon today. Mallow tells me the cannon is doing well and that Avens advocates for more launch power. If anyone can coax the maximum power from a device, Avens can. But then if anyone could goad a device into exploding, that too is likely Avens. Well, foreshadowing for you. Perhaps I should check in with the orbital probe cannon crew in the interest of safety. Let me read this one, thank you. Would it help to remind Avens that Mallow, his love, will be one of the Nomai aboard the cannon, or is Mallow part of the problem? Oh, this lover's tiff, is it? From Yarrow again, Phlox and Daz finished the memory statues today and they are truly remarkable. When the Ash Twin project succeeds, or in the event it fails, the memory statues will activate, allowing us to gather more data before we shut down the project. Pi and Adea have worked hard on the Sun Station and it is at last complete. If everything goes as planned, this structure will prompt the Sun's explosion, which will in turn supply the power that Ash Twin project requires. Well, that's interesting. So the Sun Station is causing the Sun to explode so it can power this, which allows us to loop back in time, but only by 22 minutes. I'm impressed by their mental fortitude. This was the project's most difficult task in more ways than one. We're nearly ready to activate the Ash Twin project. Here is what will happen. First, the sun station will receive the order to fire at the sun, prompting it to explode. Using the energy from the resultant supernova, the Ash Twin project will send the order for the orbital probe cannon to fire back in time by 22 minutes. Exactly 22 minutes after these orders are received, the sun station will again trigger the supernova to send the probe data from this cannon launch back in time. In total, each cycle created by the Ash Twin project will last precisely 22 minutes. We can end this cycle as well. So they weren't necessarily trying to live forever as in live in a single timeline forever. They were trying to create a perpetual 22-minute cycle that would allow them to do whatever they wanted within a 22-minute period. Like, 22-minute chunks stuck back to back to back. Sort of what we've been doing, but we're starting from a place of much less knowledge. And then at any point, they can end the cycle by not destroying the sun, I guess. And then they will just continue living past that point. That's interesting. These words are difficult to write. The sun station did not work. However, this is the closest we have ever been. The Ash Twin project is theoretically sound. We were only unable to power it. Perhaps there is another way. Suppose we redesign the sun station. To generate power of that magnitude, as supernova is still our only viable option. I believe we can still find a way to create a supernova, my friend. Don't lose hope. This is easier expressed than accomplished. You can wait for the sun to explode on its natural timeline if you prefer, but you'll need to find some way to halt our aging process. So that's what happened then. So they designed all of this. They didn't manage to explode the sun in time, and now the sun is going supernova. All the Nemai have long since passed. We're probably like millions of years in the future as we've evolved as an entire spacefaring race in that time. And only 3 of the statues were activated, and I don't think any by the Nemai, although the probe cannon one is interesting. I can't think who that would be. We are halting our We are halting our research into creating supernova for this moment. I'll stop that. A comet has newly arrived in the solar system, and we're anxious to explore it. Oh dear. It's been a very long time since we last explored somewhere new, so we're excited to welcome this comet. Imagine what knowledge there might be gained there. Yes, or you might find a little hub of those ghost matter crystals, and as soon as you activate it, it will explode and destroy your entire race and litter the solar system with ghost matter. It's 50-50, isn't it? It's 50-50. Right. Brittle Hollow, please. I have good news, Yarrow. The advanced warp core is ready to be installed in the central chamber of the Ash Twin. I'm intrigued, love. Everyone here working on the Ash Twin project is excited to see it. Pi is beside herself with joy. Poke says no, it isn't. Is everything well at the forge? The core's durability can still be improved. I need more time. Don't worry, love. Poke is only nervous. The core's extraordinary and her design work is beautifully clever. Ignore her, Yarrow. The core is finished, and if my sister tells you otherwise, then she will be finished as well. Oh, we're getting threatening now, are we? Let's just drop this literally anywhere. So did they use these stones to communicate across planets? Like if I did some writing over here, would somebody who put in the Ash Twin tablet be able to see what I'd written? Is that what all this is? And then they can obviously talk to each other if they use the teleportation. Oh, okay. I don't think I've already picked up on that before. My gratitude for the latest shipment, ONO. I don't think I've seen that name. This ore should be the last we'll need for the Ash Twin project. ONO says this is exciting news. Can I offer an extra set of eyes for this final check, specifically mine? If my work here is complete, I'd be delighted to help. We'd be grateful if you would. The more eyes, the better, as the smallest flaw or opening in the shell that protects the Ash Twin project could lead to disaster. Once we finish the shell that seals off the central chamber, we'll check to ensure there are no longer any physical entrances. Raimi and I will be checking the interior and then the exterior for cracks, which will be our final safety check. And then Giant's Deep. Raimi, I've installed the masks inside the Ash Twin project flocks. They look beautiful, although I do feel as though I'm being observed. It's comforting to know the statues will not pair until the project succeeds, otherwise I imagine the experience would be hard to endure. Ideally, they'll only need to activate once the project succeeds as a safety measure. However, once project succeeds. As a safety measure, however, the statues will also activate in the event of equipment failure. They will? Why is that? If anything goes wrong with the Ash Twin project, the statues and the mask will make us aware of the situation and enable us to fix it. Otherwise, it would be possible for us to remain permanently unaware of the problem. I hadn't thought of that. So what they're saying is, if something went horribly wrong with the project, the masks would activate and send everyone back 22 minutes? But it still needs the sun to explode to achieve that. But then maybe they didn't know the sun wasn't going to explode at that point. Do you have anything you want to say? Doesn't look like it. We have something over here, look. Interestingly. That's where we came in. This obviously goes over there. I don't know what that does. What does this say? Artificial gravity control. Do you need artificial gravity when we are spinning inside the center of a... Oh, it is the spinning. We can stop the spinning. Oh, well, that's kind of... Oh. Oh, I see, but now there's no gravity. Ha 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 ha. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense. So what, pray tell? Oh. I can't... Maybe I have to turn off the gravity to get that to go... No, I don't want to... Leave it alone. Caution, you're about to access the core while the Ash Twin project is active. Removing the core will disable the Ash Twin project. Oh, this is why we don't need... This is why we want no gravity. This is why we want no gravity. Wait, if we disable it, we're not coming back. Can't grab onto this, can I? Oh dear. That's, So what happens now? I can hear the sun exploding, I think. Just in time. So what happens now? So we've travelled back to the towers. Was that always right there? Well, the sun definitely looks like it's about to explode. So what happens when we die when we're holding the warp core that powers the project? I suspect the game's just going to end. But I haven't done the vessel yet. But I mean, it doesn't matter. We're gonna see this through now, right? Come on, son, do your worst. Or do I just kill myself at this point? Maybe I'll just kill myself at this point. I thought the sun was ready to explode, but maybe it's not. Is there somewhere else we can plug this in, do you think? Or does that seem a bit unlikely? Like, where would we plug it in? Like, what exists that would allow us to plug this into something? Okay, let's jump up into this thing, accelerate ourselves as well using our jetpack. And I was hoping to hit the ground a little harder than that, if I'm being honest. If I'm being honest... Oh, we're getting there. One more. One more and we'll find out what happens if you disable the Ash project. I've got like a little halo around it. Never noticed that before. Well, you are dead. Right, well, I had a phone call I had to take shortly after we got the game over message. And obviously the game doesn't really pause at that point because it had the credits going, so I just let it run. And by the time I got back, it took a little bit longer than I thought, and the credits had finished and we were back on the title screen. So it's sort of fortuitous, to be honest, because I think it was Scott did point out that during or after the credits there's a post-credit scene, which I guess maybe sets up the sequel a little bit or something like that. So we said to keep an eye out for that. So it's sort of lucky I missed that, because that's probably the sort of thing we actually want to see at the end of this series rather than, just towards the end. It makes more sense to have it as the very last thing we see, doesn't it? So that kind of worked out okay. So I'm going to leave that there. I have no idea how long this video is. I've been recording for like an hour and 20 minutes because I had to go off and take this phone call and stuff. I just let the recording go, so it's actually not very representative of the length of the video, which I suspect is probably going to be about 25 minutes or something like that. But I think that we've had a very successful video. We got straight to the Ash Twin project. We read all the stuff. We got a whole bunch of new information in there, which is absolutely amazing. Amazing. Really, really happy with how that went. Hey, little buddy. Never did figure out what you are. You're not the interloper, are you? What are you? What are you? Don't know. So we have one major thing. I did take a look at this just now. We have one major thing to uncover still. See, there are only 2 question marks left on our whole thing. How amazing is that? So we've got to go and find Escape Pod 3, which I think someone said might actually help us find the Ash Twin project. But no, that wouldn't make any sense. I must have misread that. And also with the vessel itself. I suspect that Escape Pod 3 will be a little bit easier to find, purely because it'll have the signal scope link to it. The vessel, I'm not so sure how we find. I might have to go and try and... what does this say? Just shows the vessel's escapement. So I guess it's in the same area as Escape Pod 3. That's what that looks like, doesn't it? So that's what we're going to do. Cool. And then I think there are a couple of bits which have got like... Yeah, there's a little bit over here. There's something else to learn over here. But look, but there's not much really at all. So I think once we've done Dark Bramble's vessel, we're probably going to be done with this series. Obviously, like I say, there is the DLC to come immediately afterwards, which I'm very much looking forward to. Scott did say about leaving the last video until when you do your last loop, leaving it and starting a new video when you do that. And you'll know when that is, he said. Somehow I'm going to pick up on that and not completely fluff it like I do quite often, because it's going to take you about an hour to get through the end game content. So the next video might just us be finding Escape Pod 3, getting ourselves set up to find the vessel, and then we'll start the last loop in the final video. So maybe only a couple of videos left to go in this series. Maybe. Who knows? The only thing that occurred to me with the Ash Twin project was that, as it says down here, there is an advanced warp core inside the protective casing at the center of the planet. Removing it will disable the Ash Twin project. So I don't know whether maybe that can be used somewhere else. I don't recall seeing anywhere which had a similar like plugin, but then I've been doing this series on and off, for many months now. So if I saw something months and months ago, like way before Christmas, I'm unlikely to remember it now. But it's interesting. It's interesting you can remove it and you carry it around. Like it doesn't just disappear, like it has some sort of purpose. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see something in Dark Bramble. Who knows? Anyway, we're going to leave that there, as I say. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, hit the like button, comment, subscribe, hit the notify bell, all those good things. Turn your headlight on accidentally all the time. Oh my word, don't forget I stream on Wednesdays at 7:15 PM UK time, and it'd just be wonderful to see you there. Otherwise, I was wondering if it's going to show the little thing that we saw orbiting, because it goes around Timberhearth. Otherwise, I will see you next time in Outer Wilds, and as always, well, thank you very much for joining me.